Hello everyone, welcome to Apollo School Online. This is a drawing that we're gonna do for today, and let's see what kind of tool you need for this class. Are you ready? Let's begin. Alright, today we're gonna use the pencil crayon to do the work. So let's see what media that we need to use. Alright, first of all, we talk about the papers. So we need to use the sketch paper. Alright, so you have to check your book, the drawing papers. Are they written on the cover with sketchbook? Alright, if you have those, that is the good one. Alright, you might using this one, mixed media. So this paper that we can use for dry media like sketch, like pencil crayon, and also can use for watercolor. Alright, so if you have this, that will be great as well. Alright, so sketchbook or mixed media. If you don't have any one of them, you can use the printing paper. Alright, printing paper is work for the dry media as well. Alright, sketchbook, mixed media papers, or the printing paper. And of course, we need to use a pencil to do the work, right? A pencils, a nice erasers, and the sharpener. Alright? I'm sure you have those. And especially I want to describe about the tracing markers. Alright? I'm looking for two different sizes. One is the 5 points markers. Looks like the big triangle on the top. It shows a thick line on the paper. And the other one is the ultra 5 points marker. It looks like the needle is very small and pointed. It will show a thin lines on the paper. Alright, so I need these two tracing markers. 5 points, ultra 5 point. So what if you don't have the needle marker, the ultra 5 point? You can use the pencil crayon, find the black one, okay, to do the tracing. It will look like almost like the same. Alright? Alright, so make sure you have the right papers, the drawing tools, and the tracing markers. Okay, so now we can start to do our work. Alright, today we're gonna design our own food inside a bowl. Alright, so you can have your paper like the horizontal direction, or you can have then it looks like the vertical direction. Doesn't matter. Okay, depend which way you want to do. Alright, so I'm gonna do it like the vertical direction because I need more space to show you more different types of food on the right hand side. So I need more space on the right. So I'm gonna make my paper like the vertical direction, but same, you can use this way or this way, doesn't matter. Alright, so first of all, we have to design how big is our bowl. Alright, so we have to do a big giant circle. It's not easy to make the circle. We might make the mistake. We might need to do erase and do it a couple of times. And how big the circle? It looks quite big, right? It's bigger than my hands. I can place 2 hands. So make sure your circle is allow you to place your hands, 2 of them. Alright, so we can have enough space to put the food in it. Alright, so let's see, I don't have that much space left, not much space left on the left and right, but I do have a little bit space on the top and more space on the bottom. A big drawing circle. Alright, then about 4 fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, place below, not beside, below the circle we made a dot. Okay, so from the edge of the circle, do a curve shape, touch. Same thing on the right. Same thing on the right. Keep going. So we will have a small letter U right below. Alright, so all the bowl has the thickness. They don't make by piece of paper. So I have to do one more circle, one more range around inside the big circle that I just did. Alright, I do it very slow because I want to keep the size looks like the same. Right? I can't make the size too big, too thick, too thin. I try to make them looks even. Alright, looks similar. Alright, I done. Okay, I'm gonna pause the video right here for a couple some seconds. Alright, then we will move on to teach you how to do the food inside. Alright, so you have two choices. If you want to have the noodle inside the bowl, you can follow what I'm going to do on the paper. If you don't want to do the noodle, you want to do the rice, I'm gonna do the rice on my board on the side. Okay, so you will see the difference. Okay, I'm gonna start to do the noodle first. So I'm gonna do a small arch from here. And stop here, a little bit curve, one more, and a little bit curve, and all the way touch the side right here. Okay, and how can I do the noodle? I add in the line like the rainbow, 3, and I make the last one smaller. Now I add in another, remember we do 3 curve. So I do another noodle right here, and maybe one is coming out a little bit. It looks like that. Okay, and the other one, close it. One, and a little bit shorter, because we're gonna add another topping around. So that would be the noodle. But what if you want to do the rice? Let's see. That's my circle of the bowl, right? Remember we do 1. Remember I was doing like this. 1, 2, 3 for the noodle. Now we are changing. We add in a curve. But it doesn't look like the rice, right? I'm gonna erase a little bit like the dash line. See, now it becomes the dash line, isn't it? Then the rice, I add in a bunch of the curve line in between the dash line. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3 small curve, 2 small curve, all the way, and adding a little bit rice on the top. Leave the bottoms. Okay, we're gonna add something, the veggies, the egg, the dumplings, or the meats. So we need the space. If you want to do the rice will look like that. Take your time, noodle or the rice. Alright, so now you have to start to think about it. If I'm going to eat the noodle, what will be on the side? Okay, it could be a dumpling noodles. It could be has a beef noodles, right? I can have the beef. I can put a sunny egg on top as well. Okay, I can put some green onions, maybe a little bit sweet corns, right? So you have to start to think about the food on the side of the noodle. Same thing for the rice, right? What kind of food you want to have with the rice? Maybe a deep fried pork. Maybe you want to have some fish. Up to you. Okay, so now we have about 5 to 10 minutes. We have a long time for that. Okay, I'm gonna do something with my noodle and the rice. I also will add in some extra food right under it, so you have more choice to think about your own design. All right, so now you can begin. Okay, so take your time. So I have barbecue pork. I have boiled egg, but I cut them in half. And I have some veggies under it and green onions. Okay, and I have the chicken leg. I have a piece of carrot slice. Okay, I also added the dumpling for you to do, and the fish cake, broccoli. It looks like the small little tree, and the mushroom slice and the baby carrot. Of course, you can have more choice, right? You can add even more stuff. The onions, green peppers, or hot peppers, your choice. Like the chili. Okay. All right. So now take your time. Keep working on it. For who is done, you can think about the design of the bowl. All right. Alright, so when you're done, same thing, we're gonna bring our tracing markers, okay? The big ones and the middle one for you to trace somewhere small, okay? Big one for the big area. Alright, so we're gonna trace the big area all together. Alright, I'm gonna move my rice and the topping on the side. So I can place my joint at the center. Alright. So where are we gonna use the thick markers? Alright, we're gonna trace a big circle. Slowly. Alright, we are now ruling the circle. We spend the time to make the circle looks nice, then make them look nice. Alright, and here. Alright, and I do have the spoon, the soup spoon, the big one. So I'm gonna trace the outside part with the thick marker because that's quite important because I'm eating the noodle. Right, so I need to have the spoon. Alright, and I have the chopstick. And there's one more thing we need to trace with the thick marker, the inside part of the bowl. The thickness. See, I trace very slow because I'm afraid to make the mistake. If I make the mistake, it's very hard for me to fix it. Right? Alright, so those are the part we need to use the thick markers. And the rest of them, the food inside, the pattern on the bowl, the background you have, they have to go with the thin markers. Alright, so now you have to look at it. Where you're supposed to use the thick markers, the big one. Okay, so you have to keep that in your mind. You are not using these markers to trace everywhere. Okay? Alright, if you haven't done the tracing, that's okay. For who is finished the tracing, you have to check because I just realized I forgot to trace this one. Right? So before you erase, make sure you trace every single line in case you just erase it and you forgot it. Alright? So when you're done, erase the extra pencil line off from your paper to keep our drawing looks clean and neat. If you haven't done the tracing, keep working on it. Alright? So we just make sure before we do the colors, everything looks clean. You know that, right? Because we don't want to color somewhere messy. That will make our drawing doesn't look professional. Alright, that sounds good. Alright, and don't forget to erase. Make sure they are clean and neat. Alright, so after you're done the erasing, you can grab your pencil crayon. Alright, so same thing. When we start to do the color, we are not going to do the scribbling, right? Let's see. Aha, always this paper. We always make the color look smooth and nice like this one. Let me grab another color. Smooth and nice. No white space. So we are not doing the scribbling, too much white space. Of course, not rolling around to make the color coming out of the shape. Alright, always the smooth color. No white space, no scribbling. Alright, so now you can begin to start to do your colors. Okay, remember, we have to color very nice. We can color around. See, I color around first, then color the middle part. And sometimes that's my boiled egg, but it will be a little bit orangey, so I'm gonna color a little bit orange at the middle, but very, very light. See, I blend in the color with the pencil. Sorry, pencil crayon, not just pencil. Alright, see, I can mix the color. So I can have a little bit yellow, a little bit orange at the middle. Alright, so now take your time to start to do the coloring. Remember, no scribbling. Keep the color stay inside the pictures. Alright, now you are good to go. Okay, you might have the question, teacher, my rice and my noodle is white, so I'm not going to color. Not exactly. Let me show you. Even the white stuff, they do have the shadow. Let's see, my eraser, they are white, right? But when I change the angle, what happened? One side is brighter, one side is darker, right? So where it has the light, it will look bright, but the other side will look dark. So how can I do that with the noodle? Oops. Let's see. I'm gonna choose the color, the light. I'm gonna use the peach color. I color a little bit right at the bottom, but I keep the top white. You're right, we are doing the white noodle. So I only color the shadow part. See? I only color at the bottom. Only on the bottom here. Alright? If you are doing the noodle, and same thing for the rice. If you have the rice, let me show you. If we have the rice, and the rice looks like that, right? We're doing the rice like this. Is it? Same thing, you can choose the color you want. I'm gonna use the yellow. So I just color a little bit, dot the shadow in between the rice. See, I add in a little bit dots in between. Right? That's it. As many as you like to. Alright, that will be the color for the rice. They are not really exactly white, they got the shadow on it. Okay? So, please add in the shadow, even they are the white noodle or the white rice. Okay? Alright, so make sure you color everywhere, even they are very small, like the small bean. They deserve to have their own color, isn't it? Alright, so when you're done the color, you can find a spot to sign your name and write down the day for today. Alright, and feel free if you want to name your food, feel free to do it. Alright, so that's everything for today. See you next time.